for this week's Record Club to Jonny from the Reytons. How are we doing?
I'm good, thanks. Jess, how are you?
I'm good. Probably not flying as high as you are, though. Congratulations on your number one.
Thank you. I've got it with me, look, as well, bro.
Oh my God, that is amazing. That is so good.
I never thought we'd ever get to even look at one of these, let alone behold at it. So it's mad. It's been a really good, memorable week. You know, I've not really had any time to sit and reflect on what's happened. We've gone straight from the album campaign into a week of interviews, and stuff like this, like we're doing now, and there's not really been any time to slow down. I mean, even Saturday morning, obviously we had a few drinks on Friday night after we'd found out, but I woke up, I don't know, about 7:30 Saturday morning, and I sat up and thought, right, what have I got to do? And then I was like, oh, it's already done. So it's like there haven't really been a second to reflect. So I'm just gonna keep going until we burn out, I think.
Oh man, that is amazing. And also having your trophy with you, it must come with a stand though as well, or are you just like carrying it around in your pocket?
No, it's not. They're not that classy. You get a little bit of felt on the bottom. Look.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
It comes with a bag. In fact, this one's going to go back, I believe. This is the dummy one that
this is the model one
to the people. So I wonder who's maybe like Taylor Swift held this and a few other people. I don't know.
I was going to say that has been touched by many number ones, and now you also.
And now it's in Rotherham.
Amazing. Well. Each week on the Record Club, we actually kick things off with a question from one of the many amazing independent record stores across the UK. And this week's question comes from Marcia and Helen from Vinyl Van, which is in Dorchester. Have you been there?
Nope.
No, neither have I. Maybe, and we're going to have to do a tour of actually artists do tours of record shops. Maybe we should as well. Well, they're asking a really great question. They say, what can independent record shops do to best help emerging artists?
That's a good question. I feel like, obviously, like with your mainstream shops and stuff, a lot of the major labels and that, they dominate like the front of house advertising and things like that. And especially for us as an independent band, we literally run everything of this campaign ourselves. And maybe like give a little bit of that window space to independent artists and to new artists. And maybe it doesn't have to be just to everyone, but even if they strongly recommend a record, if something that they like, maybe they should highlight that at the front of the shop with all your big Universal and your Sony's marketing stands, maybe something like that.
That is such a good idea. And like having like a percentage of the shop window dedicated to independent artists as well.
Yeah, of course. But obviously, I know that independent record stores, again, they're independent, so they do need to generate income where they can, and they're going to have to sell those spaces to keep the lights on and keep people in the shop. But yeah, if they could give a percentage, I guess that'd be fair.
Yeah. All right. Big ups to Marcia and Helen and everyone from Vinyl Van. Hopefully you're going to be putting your independent records in your window as well. Thank you for your question. Right. Talk to me about, because I know you said you've like not quite had a moment to come down from your number one on Friday, but I want to talk about the manifestation that you had to get this number one, because it wasn't just the hard work that you put in to the actual record, but I know that you guys had like your phone screens as the number one trophy, and you also just believe in like the law of attraction and like really getting into it. What's your phone screen now? Is it the real trophy that you've got? Okay, good. I like this. On to the next.
That's literally, that's how mine's work. And I'm not daft. I'm not going to think like we've got the Brits there, but Brit Award would be nice. But I think to get his album Brit certified, if we could get like first bronze and then like a silver record, that'd be great. You got to keep pushing, haven't you? You don't just stop on week one. We've got to keep going and try and get them units out there and try and get as much recognition for that album as we can. So I think that felt natural to go for that.
For sure. I feel like putting stuff out into the atmosphere, it means that it's kind of like dropping those seeds. So yeah, manifesting Brits for you.
Do you know the first time I ever did that? It was my mum that said it to me years and years ago, and she used to say to me like, just think about what you really want and just imagine it happening and write it down and all this. And I never did. And I was actually watching Netflix, and you must have seen The Secret, which is on there, which is about law of attraction. I was watching a bit of it, and it were talking about how just like asking the universe for certain things and putting it out there into your mind. And the last thing you think about before you to go to bed, think about the target you're trying to achieve. Now, when we first started this band, we were trying to get we do all our own marketing, obviously. We were trying to get like people to feature in his videos. So we were thinking, who could we get? And one of the people were Bruce Jones, who played Les Battersby in Coronation Street, right? And it sounds like a joke now, but I literally laid in bed. I was watching that and I thought, you know what? I'm just going to close my eyes and think, Les Battersby is going to ring me tomorrow. So I went to sleep, no word of a lie. Next morning, got a phone call, woke up, and he rang me.
That's stupid. How did you get?
Isn't it?
How did you get your number? Did you? You must have told someone.
No,
before.
yeah, I reached out. I'd obviously sent. I'd sent. Yeah, oh yeah. He didn't just go, I'm gonna get this guy's number because I fancy being in his video. No. I'd sent like the email a week ago. Do you know what I mean? We'd reached out a while back and not heard anything. I was like, oh, that'd be great. Make a really good video. Yeah, and he just rang. In fact, it was his agent that I rang, and then he rang me and said, don't worry about the agent. We'll just do it anyway because that's kind of how he is.
That's amazing. That is so good. All right. Well, talking about getting people into your music videos. Obviously, What's Rock and Roll? You've got this trilogy of movies. For people who are watching, what is it? I actually, by the way, watched these in completely the wrong order because I didn't know about the trilogy before.
It still makes sense. So.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did. Well, I watched One More Reason first, so kind of ruined the punchline for myself. But I watched it, and I kid you not, my notes were, is there going to be a feature-length movie? Because I want one, because I wanted more. And then I at the end, I think you've got the title of Cash in Hand, I think. And so I was like, please tell me. And then I went and found it. So I watched them in the right order. And yeah, I mean, is this completely your idea? Is this all still coming from the band, from the Reytons?
Yeah, 100%. Literally everything, every single element of this campaign, from writing the songs, recording the songs, and marketing it, the artwork, the music videos. Obviously, we bring in help from friends and people. Do you know, like with a music video? Oh, start with the album. David Watts produced the album at Chairwork Studios. Great producer. And as friend Luca, he did like the filming and stuff, and like helped with the editing of the films and that. But yeah, like writing the script and directing it, just the same as the songs. It's literally 4 members of the band and his manager Rich, and that's us. Yeah, that's the team.
Okay, so is there going to be a feature-length movie? Because I still want one.
But not from that. But yeah, I think
I'm invested in these characters. That's the thing. So obviously wait till the end of the record club, but I would recommend you guys checking it out. So that's just something standalone. And did that come from the songs or?
Well, no, we wrote the songs first, and then literally we just sat. Again, sounds daft, but we hired a room at the Holiday Inn. Not a hotel room, a meeting room, and we sat around. Yeah, just to be clear, we all got in bath. No, we all sat around a table and literally just got like all the ideas down. We planned everything from the start of the album, what it was going to be called, what the artwork was going to look like, all the design for that, all the music. We literally just smashed it out in like 12 hours, and we knew for the first and the last song on the album, we wanted to do like a band performance, generic hype type videos, and then the middle 3 was just like, yeah, let's pick these. We did a vote. Again, there's no label, it's just us, so we voted on what should be the singles and then what the videos could be, and then we worked out that the singles kind of all fit together, so like they were all kind of one long story there. So yeah, just we wrote them there. Well, we didn't write it all there, but we kind of got the baseline for it.
It's kind of like not. It's like blowing my mind a little bit because I feel like as a fan of music, you listen to an album and you think, yeah, great album, love it. And you're like thinking of the songs. And now when I listen to those songs, I've got like this story behind it, like even more so. And the characters, they're like in my brain. Like I actually cried a lot for One More Reason. That really got me.
Yeah, I think for us as well, they've become more real. You know what I mean? Because I mean, to be fair, some of the songs themselves have got different meanings because they're based on true events. But especially with One More Reason and Fading, it's different what they're about. But yeah, you kind of do watch it and you do feel like even for us from directing and writing it, you feel a lot more, you associate it totally differently now.
And let's talk about Uninvited as well. You've got the boxer Terry Harper in there. Did you manifest that as well? Like, what happened there?
No, Terry Harper, we're literally from like same community, same. I'm not from. I went from the same place originally, but I live in the same place as she does now. But we're from similar backgrounds. Me and all the lads really, and you know, she's just, to us, she's a local hero. She's done a lot for the sport, and she's done a lot for our community. So it's like we've always been watching her on Sky Sports. You know, she when she first got her first belt, and then she went back and she got two more, and it was just, yeah, we like, in that music video, we kind of wanted to celebrate and champion that the street dancers that are in the video as well, from the local street dance school, which my girlfriend actually works at. So they're like her kids. So it's like, it was like a celebration of what were going on. And then obviously with the clowns and the saxo and all that kind of thing, we were just trying to have a little, not a dig, but just a little poke, weren't we, at the industry, do you know what I mean? And saying, this is us and we're doing it our way. So.
And it's so perfect that this is the one that went to #1 as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
With the title of the album, What's Rock and Roll, how did you decide on that? Was that like a given, or was that something that came a bit later?
If I'm honest, that came a little bit later. We didn't know what to call the album. With the first album, we didn't know, exactly the same thing. Everybody had their opinions on what they wanted. Everyone had their opinions on how things should look, and everybody folds easy. You know, easy to persuade people. Oh, come on, let's do this picture, let's do this video, let's do that. Album title, it's the same. It's like the band name question, that's something again that we argued about for a long time. So yeah, we didn't really know what to call it, and I feel like it was listening through the album. We knew what the album had a message, you know, we knew what it was about, but I don't think it was until we listened to Uninvited with a suggestion. Do you know what I mean? Like, maybe could be Uninvited. Is that's going to be the last track? Is that the strongest? Let's play it. And then it just says, the lyrics there, they decided who's invited, what's rock and roll. And I thought, and right at that moment, we're like, yeah, that actually has the most meaning out of everything. Let's call it that.
Has there been any interesting sort of fan takes or comments, or like an interesting fan favorite since the release of the album?
In what do you mean? What do you mean?
Maybe like you didn't realize like that would be a favorite, or maybe there's been some like comments about a song that you like didn't expect, or, you know, even on like the music videos.
No, not really. I think like when we put the singles out, I was really excited to obviously see what the response were. But for me, some of my favourites were still yet to be heard. You know what I mean? So like I was kind of thinking, these probably aren't singles, but I can't wait to see what people think to these tracks. And yeah, it went the way I thought it would, so that was good. But yeah, it's such a mixed album in terms of like concepts as well. But yeah, it's very, very, it all fits into one pot, doesn't it, of social commentary, I guess.
Yeah. I feel like there's some brilliant one-liners in there as well. Like, I think, is it Istanbul? She's had more Botox than birthdays in there. What's like your favorite line on the album? Is there one that you're really proud of?
I don't know. You know, I've not really thought about it. Do you know? If I'm honest, after doing all the in-store signings this week, I'm sick of hearing it. So I don't like any of the album at the minute. I'll listen to something else. Yeah, I don't really know what. I've not got a clue. I wish I'd have thought about that before you asked me. But
no, that's fair. That's fair. Also, yeah, people have your say. Get your questions to us. I'm going to be asking them in just a moment's time. I do want to know with you guys, because obviously it's so like self-made and you're completely independent. I want to know what it's like in the studio with you lot. So like, are there any behind the scenes stories whilst recording the songs on this album that you might not know from like a first listen? Maybe like an accidental sound on the track that just had to stay, or some antics that happened after recording that you can tell us about?
Well, yeah. I feel the process for us is I don't know if it's different because I only know us. You know, this is what we do. But like with this album, I think the biggest thing about it is we had nothing. we wrote it and recorded it in 5 weeks. That was literally the time frame to get this album done, because we'd come off the back of his tour, having just done his first album, but we had unfinished business. You know, we wanted to come back out. The album didn't do. There were a lot of bad timings that happened, and like a lot of problems, like with the vinyl, with the plastic industry and stuff, and things just got messed up for us. So we were like in a mindset of like, we've done the album, let's have Christmas, but then let's get back out and have another album. So we just literally, the only time we could make it work between the tours was to do it in them 5 weeks, 6 with the mastering. So it wasn't a case of, it's like we were in the studio or writing songs together, and then we're like, oh, do we like these songs? Let's work on this and take that away. We didn't really have that luxury, but I think the deadline really helped push the album out. So many times you'd have, like, maybe Joe and Jamie would be in the studio, I'd be sat at home writing lyrics, and then we're just bouncing ideas back and forth. And yeah, one of the can you swear on this show? On It's a Fuck About, the track that is, well, it's not really a track, I don't know what it is, to be fair. It just ended up being on the album, but I was just fed up with writing one of the tracks. I don't even know if that one made the album. I can't remember what it was. And I just thought, oh, I'll just mess about. So I was just like making weird sounds out mic, and like beatboxing kind of thing. I think I was just experimenting, going, oh, what does this do if I put a guitar out through my voice and do it? And literally, I literally was just fucking about. And then I did the verses, made myself a brew, sent it to Joe, and just being daft. And he rang me back. He's like, I love it. Send it over. Send me the stems. And then he put all the stems into the actual thing with David Watts at studio. They like produced it using my vocals. So that like Batman sounding tone that's in there, that's me just going. So I think that's the weirdest thing on the album.
That is so good. All right. Scott James has got involved on the Record Club's Facebook page and says, what do you know now that you wish you knew when you'd started out on the Reytons journey?
A lot of things. I know the value of things a little bit more. I know that sometimes it's quite. The Reytons journey for me wasn't the beginning of my journey, but I've learned a lot, and there's a lot of things that, like, if you look at it rather than just being the Reytons and just when you're starting out in music, there's a lot of naivety that you think that you've got to chase something that's gonna. Do you know? I've seen you. In fact, you said this, Jess, on one of your reels. I think you said about people thinking about getting on Radio 1 and they feel like that's it, and you want to be record of the week. It is that, like, when you first start out, you're so naive to think, why do we not get played? Why don't we get played on Introducing? Why aren't we getting played on Radio 1? Why is these big artists and bands not tweeting about us? But that's not the end of it. Do you know what I mean? You've literally. The timing's everything. You know, there were a point for us where we'd sold out Leadmill in Sheffield, which is a big iconic venue. Then we went on to sell out the O2 Academy, and it felt like nothing were really popping for us. You know, we were like going, why are we getting no press? Yeah. We're getting no radio. Then we sold out Magna, 4,500 people, and at that point you think, yeah, maybe we should get a little bit, but it is about timing, and when it's right, it's right. And the first album for us, the timing was all wrong. This time. Do you know what I mean?
We're at home.
So I think just be patient a little bit as well. Just stick to what you're doing. That's what I tell myself, my younger self. Stick to what you're doing and just be patient. It'll come. I guess that's what I've learned.
All right. Dean on the Record Club's YouTube says, love the new album. Think my favourite song this week is Uninvited. What's your favourite song off the new album? And then your favourite Reytons song of all time?
Oh, right. Okay. I like Uninvited because of what it stands for, and also like it being the single we came out, and the video, and hearing Jack Saunders play that the week before the album came out, and he were really, do you know what Jack's like? He's really hyping it up, and he's like, "There's a Reytons, blah blah blah," and I was like, it made me want to buy a copy. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, go on, Jack. So Uninvited for that, but just purely for the track itself, I like Istanbul. I like the riff, and I just like the style of it. Just like, I like to be a little bit different. So yeah, probably that. My favorite track of all time, purely for live, is Kids Off the Estate, just because it's one of them where every time you think you've had a moment, and it's like, I don't know how this is going to get any bigger. It gets bigger at the next gig, and it's just mad to see all them people singing it word for word.
I feel like Uninvited, just to add to this, the timing again is so much sweeter. It's like, it's just come out, the meaning, the number one, like the graphs, like the people who are like with you and supporting you. Yeah, it feels really like top. Who do we have next? Jamie McRae on the Record Club page says, what has been the most special gig that you played and what made it so special?
I don't really know. There's standout gigs, like, I mean, playing in Sheffield, seeing the progression from the venues like grow, they're all really, really special in their own right. We did an album party for kids off the estate, and it were even like the barrier fell over, so which is not good. You know, it weren't a good thing to happen. But I remember the tension within the room. There were way too many people there. It was just one of the things where, and I played in that venue from supporting different bands and different artists for many years, going, you know, in my career. I had never seen it that busy. Do you know what I mean? And to be stood there, you could literally feel it in there. It was a lovely but horrible feeling at the same time. It's like this is dangerous, but the excitement is literally taking the roof off. So I feel like that's a standout. And then Magna, 4,500 people in a steel museum in Rotherham, like the first and only gig we've done in Rotherham, the town that we're from, and there were 4,500 people there. So yeah, Magna.
That is huge. That is incredible. Rachel on the Record Club's page says, how was it to have your own pop-up shop? Where did that idea come from?
Yeah, pop-up shop, it was great. You know, I feel like, as I was saying to you earlier before this, Jess, like it felt like the hub of the campaign. So a lot of the times before the doors actually opened, we'd be meeting there, and it was like our little base where we'd set things up. Everything in that shop we did a sense. You know, we painted the walls, we brought all the stuff in. I mean, we've said this before in other interviews, but like they gave Meadowhall nice enough to give us the room. The reason it happened is because in our minds, when we were setting the campaign up, we wanted to do the in-stores, and Sheffield, Meadowhall being the centre of you know, South Yorkshire for us, we wanted to do a big signing day there at HMV. So it were all like looking good. This is how we're going to do it. And then Boxing Day, walking through Meadowhall, and I just seen the shutters were down and it said closed back in March. I was like, well, typical Reytons for us, that you can't write that. That's just gone. So they've left us. I mean, they have tweeted to say well done, which is nice. But they'd left us. So we were like, well, what can we do? And then we spoke to Meadowhall themselves, and they said, look, we'll give you a shop. You're going to have to set it up yourselves and do everything, but we'll give you a unit. So we had that. And then we went round back of all the abandoned shops, like Top Man and Top Shop, and took all their mannequins out of bin. And all literally, we begged, borrowed, and steal everything from every other shop in Meadowhall. And the amount of things that we like, wheeling a massive disco ball down the middle of Meadowhall at 2:00 in the morning when it was shut. They literally gave us the keys to Meadowhall. They're like, you can do what you want. So they were really supportive, and it was great, you know. But we literally did set all that up ourselves, and then at night we did the signings and stuff. But when the doors were shut and the shutters were down, we were back in there restocking as friends and family were working there 11-hour shifts, bless them, you know, each day just to make it work. And it would definitely. You know, could we have had the number one without the shop? I don't know, maybe, but it definitely made a big difference. And we got to meet everybody. You know, we got to meet all these people that had probably, you know, I don't like, again, they would have bought it anyway. They're loyal, the supporters, but they got to come and buy it in our shop from us directly, you know, with no middlemen, and then shake our hands and have a picture with us. So that was good.
You never know. They might have dragged along a friend who's like, they were like, yeah, go on. Get involved, get a copy as well.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? Yeah. And then be able to be upsold by his friends and family going, go on, buy a cassette as well.
Yeah. Right. That is all we have time for questions from everyone. Thank you so much for getting them to us. One more thing. What is next for the Reytons? I know, obviously you're still coming down from the album, but yeah, like, is it straight into work? Like, what's happening?
Yeah, well, we're still I don't know. Just I feel like we need to have a bit of time to just reflect on it, but that's not going to happen. We've got this weekend. Maybe this weekend we'll have a weekend apart from each other, and then next week we're getting ready. We're straight back in the studio, back rehearsing. We're going to Australia in March, which is bizarre to even be thinking about.
That would be amazing. Have you ever been before?
No, not even supposed to be there. We're never supposed to happen for people like us. But we're going to Australia because somebody's paid us to go, which is bizarre. I never thought we'd never get to see that part of the world. But we're going to fly over there, have a week, come back, and then we're in Europe. We've got festivals. We've got loads of UK festivals, some that haven't been announced, some that are getting announced soon, and just keep pushing. You know, we're not stupid. We're number one in the charts this week. Next week we'll be nowhere near. We're an independent band, and we're just enjoying every minute that we've got right now. But we've had a taste for it, so we're going to work hard and we're going to come back.
Brits soon come.
Can you vote for us?
Nominate. Yeah, we'll do.
What we have to do.
I'll get involved. Well, that is all we have time for today. Thank you so much for getting involved, people at home. Obviously, Jonny from the Reytons. Go get your copy as well. You can still get a copy of What's Rock and Roll, and get a physical copy as well from your local record shop. Support your local. I'm also very excited to announce that the winner of this week's Bowers & Wilkins wireless headphones prize is... Who do we have? The winner is Scott James on the Record Club page. Big up, Scott. Thank you for getting involved. Please slide into the Record Club's DMs and we'll get those headphones to you. My name's Jess Iszatt. Thank you so much for joining us, sending in your questions. Our next guest is going to be announced on the Record Club's social media very soon. So make sure you're following us. And all previous episodes are available to watch back on our YouTube channel. See you very soon. Jonny from the Reytons, thank you so much.
Cheers, Jess. Cheers, everyone.